Well, hello, listeners, and welcome to The Companion to the Companion, the podcast where Ian and I delve and dig and plunder through all 100 of the third edition of the Phish Companion's top 100 shows in chronological order. Tonight we are in episode 36. It is December 14th of the fantastic year 1995 in Binghamton, New York at the Broome County Veterans Memorial Arena, which is a mouthful. Good evening, Ian. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Live Phish Volume 1. So this was...
Volume 1.
This is Volume 1. And I think we need to give a shout out to your wonderful daughter, June, who happens to share her birthday with this particular show.
She sure does.
Probably the universe's way of acknowledging for you two very important things in your life.
Yeah, we were hoping it was going to be 12-12-12, and we were so close. But it is a memorable day for me. Absolutely.
Very nice. Well, It's a great show, and certainly a hallmark of 94 or 95, and one that's talked about as being one of the all-time best in many circles.
Sure.
So, Sam, let's have a conversation about whether this is hype or if this is truth.
I'm conflicted. I feel both ways, I guess. As usual, I really enjoyed... Rob Mitchum, we should try to hunt down and get on the podcast. He seems like a very cool, knowledgeable person. I don't know, maybe he contributed to The Companion. But his piece on this was titled Beginner's Guide. And I think he noted some really key points as to why this is potentially Live Phish Volume 1 and why this really turned on a lot of kids pre 2.0, younger Phish fans.
Okay.
Younger than us. So nothing is longer than 15 minutes. There's no acoustic, no bluegrass, no acapella, no Fishman songs, no fat, kung, catapult, weird chanting stuff. And everything is just played clean, amazing. The show's tight. It's succinct. There's no slouching. It's a good opener for someone as to what a full, complete live Phish show during a period of them playing really well could and should be for a beginner. And I think you and I talked about not connecting as hard to this show, although I found some moments in there I'd forgotten about this time and loved.
Yeah.
I think that might be why we're not beginners or intermediates or advanced.
Right.
I mean, we're like, I'm not trying to fluff us up here. I'm just saying we spend a lot of time listening to the band, and we're looking for the out theres too,
Yeah, we're the highest level of elitist douchebags, I think. That's us.
Or hunters. We're hunting all the time. So I loved listening to this though. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah, kudos to Rob Mitchum for noticing all of those things. For the amount of times I listened to this show, I didn't really kind of like notice those things. I wasn't looking at it sort of in a check in the boxes kind of way. But there's some real truth to that.
I liked that take on it, and I also I will intersperse some of it in here, but there's a really cool interview with Trey before the show, and he talks about Binghamton. It's a little place. It's like 8,000 people, so it's very small, and they sold it out. They played it the year before, and he does have this little story where he talks about when he falls in the hole on stage and fractures his ankles, I believe.
Right.
And he talks. I don't know. I'll throw some snippets in here because there's some funny Trey talk, but. The guy was kind of saying, what are you doing in Binghamton? You guys are playing Madison Square Garden. You're playing all these massive venues. And he's like, I don't know. We just played a great show last time, and we like it here, and we're back to play again.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And smaller venue than a lot of the shows surrounding it that we're discussing.
All right, well, welcome to Binghamton. Gosh, you guys haven't been here since April 9th, 1994. I remember
when we were here?
I was sitting here talking to Fishman the last time.
Really?
Since then, you guys have been on the Letterman Show a couple of times. You've played the home of the Detroit Pistons recently, the Palace outside Detroit. You've also played the Mecca of all entertainment, Madison Square Garden, home of the Knicks and Rangers.
We will be playing there again soon.
Why Binghamton now? Why an 8,000 seat place? Why are you,
I
mean, don't get me wrong, we'd love to have you, but
I really liked the last gig here. I thought we played
sure,
really well here.
We all did.
I remember it because it was the night before I fell through the hole.
That's right. I heard that story.
Yeah, I fell through a hole in the stage the next night after, and I remember.
How did that happen? You want to tell that story?
Well, there was a hole in the stage, and we were doing sound check. I can't remember
what was the venue?
Wherever we played after this. So it must have been I can't remember.
East
An arena
Bumble
somewhere.
something or
Yeah,
other.
and I was walking along, and all of a sudden I just disappeared.
Wow.
I didn't know what had happened. It felt
this
like
was before the show, during sound check.
Before the show,
Okay.
tore the ligaments in my ankle. They had me on a stretcher and took me to the hospital and stuff.
So was the gig like postponed, or did you?
No,
didn't play it?
no.
Okay, 'cause I don't think I ever heard that part of the story.
There's never. I think in 12 years, there's only been one canceled gig, and it wasn't our fault.
That's what they all say.
No, really, the club closed down or something.
Right.
Like that. No, we pride ourselves
Wow.
on.
Okay,
playing
so
through
it's great to have you back in Binghamton. What differences do you see playing the larger venues, specifically? Actually, I mean, because I'm sure there's many things you might notice, but specifically over the last 12 months, from your perspective up on stage, what differences do you notice in the audience?
Oh man, well, sometimes I think I notice differences, and sometimes not. Recently, I've been noticing a lot of people. Older is probably not the right term, but my age and up. I'm 31. Older than me.
So
I've
it's
seen a
new
number of
faces
people
checking it out?
older than myself, which
Uh-huh.
which makes me real happy. I like that, and younger people.
Right.
It's kind of spread out both ways. You see like 12-year-olds.
So you're seeing a lot of new faces at the shows, in addition to those who repeatedly show up, like
and
me.
then you always see the
the tour heads.
kind of
Yes,
the
we can
people
say
that
it.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So especially up in the front couple of rows, which is what
Right.
I see. The
But
people I see.
And I'm sure they could tell the difference between shows that they're playing in small venues and big venues, and that they feel different, and there's, a different experience for the band as well.
Possibly. I mean, he does talk about in there in the interview where he says he never thinks about size of venue. He's like, I only really see the first 3 rows.
Mm-hmm.
And all he cares about is the band connecting. He's like, there could be, it could be really small or it could be huge. He does talk about the audience demographic being a little different and, what 95 was like for them.
Right.
But it sounds like he's having the time of his life, honestly.
Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah. I think it shows in the show. And you can hear, I like this recording a lot. There's way more audience than usual, than later recordings especially, which I really liked.
Yeah.
They sound rowdy and fired up, and it sounds like a smaller room. It's cool.
I agree. Yeah, the recording is really cool. And it is much more of a balance between an audience and a soundboard. It's not perfectly clean.
Yeah, which I liked. I mean, you give us all these, Kevin. This sounds nice. Mix a little more audience in. I'm a fan.
I'm not picky, Kevin. Just give us whatever you got.
Yeah.
All right. Although I am loving the way the new Centrum, the Philly shows are sounding. I don't know if you've listened to any of that on YouTube. They've released a little bit of that.
Oh, they did. I haven't.
Yeah, there's a
I'll do that later.
Ghost Divided Sky, and there's the Possum Funk Jam that was on the Cream Dream.
Yeah, the classic.
As soon as it comes on, I'm just like Cream Dream, and then into Caspian, and then they did the Dogface Boy, which is real special.
Yeah, I remember cranking that Possum when we were at the Lemon Wheel, like
Nice.
just wearing that tape out and playing that part over and over. It was awesome. Oh man, the dance years, like whatever. It's just 97, 98, and into 99, but like especially 97, 98 was such a fucking dance party.
Yeah. We're going to get into a little dance party talk a little bit later in this conversation. But let's start it off,
Yeah,
Sam. We're opening this show with it could not be any more classic Susie Greenberg, but unusual as an opener.
The show nails set openers, set closers, both sets. Great encore. I mean, it's just, again, the show is put together as a perfect piece, of Phish, a slice of Phish. Yeah, cool Susie. Great.
Yeah, I thought it was had a nice upbeat grooving, had a mini kit jam. Obviously it's 95, we're getting a mini kit jam, but it was cool.
Sure.
And it was a tight, happy opener. I felt good when it was over, and I was prepped to have a happy show.
Yeah, there's a number of songs in this first set. I mean, there's some that I had some issues with technically, but there was also a lot of great, solid. I thought Llama too. Mm-hmm. Following it up, Big Energy was also solid.
Yeah, I thought Trey had some really cool jazzy soloing at the start of the jam.
Yeah.
And then lots of fancy fret work. And it kind of led to a stashy jam in the Llama, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, because I'm especially in this era, expecting a pretty standard Llama. And I think this one got out there a little bit.
Yeah, I know in the last show we talked a lot about Trey sitting back a lot, that you enjoy myself and kind of opening that up and understanding it. And I thought there were moments in this show of some really good interband playing, but also moments where Trey just took over and stepped up. And yeah, he was showing off in the llama. It was really great.
Yeah. I
also can bring this moment up for our listeners that just before we started recording, Ian coined a phrase, his modern dislike of Trey's tone and how it can be a thing that ruins and takes him out of a lot of good Phish moments in the modern era. He accidentally stepped into calling it Trey tonal, and it made me feel really good. And I think we can use that whenever there's a tonality to Trey's playing. We can say it was a Trey tonal jam.
Fair enough.
And it makes me feel really good. So that one's on you. You can take all the credit, but it's now in the vernacular. So,
and if someone said it before, I don't think I heard you say it, but you get points too.
Yes. Yeah, in the interview with Trey, actually, that I listened to, one of the coolest things is he discusses the hose.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I'd forgotten how that got into all of it. It was a Carlos Santana comment.
Yeah.
And the way he explains it is actually really, really cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it made me feel...
I felt
analogy. Silly about how we insulted the hose some episodes back a little bit, but I liked hearing him talk about it.
Never.
Primarily.
I mean, if we're playing well, it feels like we're playing to one person in a tiny room. Or it's weird. It has so little to do for me with how many people are there. My satisfaction.
There's been talk of this hose theory, which probably bears restating. I know it was Carlos Santana's actual statement. Has that grown or expanded in any way?
I could talk about that for hours because I think different things. And I know we don't have hours, but I mean, he did say when we were touring with him, he was watching our set one night. He said, in his Carlos way, he said he was visualizing the audience as a bed of flowers or something, and the music was the water and we were the hose, kind of spraying.
Right.
And lots of people have said that same thing in different ways. That's Carlos's way of saying it.
And that's become very famous.
I guess that's kind of become a thing, the hose. But you know, I just was reading a book that interviews Brahms, and he was talking about how himself and Bach and Stravinsky and all these other composers all said that they thought they were channeling music through from. For them, it was God.
So this isn't a brand new idea, then, or concept.
The oldest idea in the world. Every musician has that feeling.
Is that something that musicians aspire to? You think?
I think that
if happens.
I think certainly. Well, I mean, I don't think the problem is that when you start. I'm reading a new book. I've been reading a lot this tour about all this kind of stuff.
Take notes, kids.
Reading a book called The Tao of Physics, which talks about the connection between Eastern mystical thought and Western physics, which is mathematical proofs, but that their worldview is actually converging because physics has come so far that they're actually coming back together. But if you study that kind of Taoist philosophy, the problem is that when you start putting it into words, they say that the map is not the territory, right? In other words, men use nets to catch fish, but as soon as the fish are caught, they forget the nets. They use traps to catch rabbits, but as soon as the rabbits are caught, the traps are forgotten. They use words to convey an idea, right? As soon as the idea is grasped, you should forget the words. So the problem is that with this hose theory and all that, when you start talking about it, sometimes it comes across sounding stupid.
I don't think so.
But it's very
not
real.
If you pay attention, not if you're trying to absorb it.
Right.
And then we get to the horn.
Solid llama.
Oh wait, llama. What about llama?
Llama was solid.
Yeah.
I liked it. I felt the same as you. And Horn was one of the songs I had there were a couple rough spots in there.
Okay. Talk to me.
I do like to see that song, but I don't know, just, it's one of those, it doesn't stray from its form.
Mm-hmm.
So a song that doesn't stray from form has to both have good energy, but also be executed succinctly. I thought this one, and I mean, we'll get into the taste later. There were some issues in the taste. The Tila also kind of fell a little flat for me. There were just a few I don't know.
Yes, agreed. I guess I liked the horn. I wrote pretty perfect, maybe a 9.5, which means it's not perfect. That means there was a couple of flubs. I mean, this is the Olympics after all.
Yeah, I mean, directly after it, I just wrote in my notes where the headphones in the book were, and I didn't know that this foam was a headphone in the book. Mm-hmm. But the foam makes up for everything. so far in this set for me. I thought it was one of the high points of the entire show. I thought Page's solo was understated and gentle and really nice band interplay. It doesn't explode at all. It flows really nice into Trey's, and then gorgeous band interplay right at, that early part of Trey's solo. I was very impressed with the maturity of the soloing in this foam. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. I think the soloing spoke to a sort of depth of taste in both of Trey and Page, where they're just like hitting a lot of different styles.
Yes, very cool.
I noted that I thought Page was the highlight, and that maybe Trey's solo was not my favorite, and maybe it got a little too jazzy for me. But I feel like I'm nitpicking. It's a special taste, or I mean, it's a special foam. I love foams. It's great. Yeah. But I'm not, maybe this wasn't my favorite, but it was certainly a highlight of the set, one of the highlights of the set.
Yeah. I just really enjoyed how it didn't run for the peak.
Right.
It did a lot of searching, and there was a lot of, again, the quality of the recording is so nice. There was just a lot of band. It was a good talking. I thought this was where they really connected. It was fun.
Yeah. No question, listening to this foam, you'd be like, wow, this band's got it going on.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around.
Yeah. No.
Then we go into Makasupa.
Yeah. I don't, the Kada, how do you feel? I don't know that we've discussed this. How do you feel about this stupid bullshit in Makasupa every time? The like silly, I don't know. What do you think? Does it take you out of it? Do you like it?
I like it. I mean, I think like it's the sort of thing like, or if I'm considering playing it for somebody else, or I'm considering what somebody else might think of it, I understand it's a little cheesy, or it can be a little cringe if that's the word you want to use. But I love Phish silly, so I like this stuff, and I like Gaddafi in My Bed. Kind of reminds me of what was going on at it was 95 Gaddafi. That's right. That opens up other memory doors to other things, maybe friends that I hadn't remembered. So I like the sort of historical aspect of those comments. So no, it doesn't bother me. It wasn't like the most amazing Makasupa. It was pretty good. Mike Space highlight for sure. Some nice
there's some ambient, like,
yeah,
the way it flows out is okay. I don't know.
I like the slow down
yelling
finish. Yeah,
the yelling in it reminds me of like Billy Crudup in Almost Famous on the Roof, where he's trying to tell this whole story about music and everyone's kind of staring at him, and then he goes, I love drugs, and or I'm on drugs, and everybody gets all excited. That's like the yelling about even the Gaddafi part doesn't get a cheer, but then it's like, and I smoked a joint with him, and then everybody screams. I'm like, what are we?
Right.
I don't know. even as a teenager, I thought it was silly. And as an adult, I'm like, I do like Phish humor. It's just not my favorite. I do like Makasupa, though. So.
I don't think you're alone on this opinion.
Yeah. If only we could have more opinions.
Pod, it's kind of funny. Joking about Pod is a tough thing to make it not like cheesy or pandering. It just feels pandering, and I know what you're saying. But I think, at the time in '94, this is kind of like the beginning of the comeback of where like marijuana started coming back in like 91, 92. And we definitely were like a bit of a subculture where everything was hidden. It's different than it was today. So I guess, in the early days of listening to Phish and Dead, I liked the acknowledgement of just, oh yeah, you're part of this group, or yeah, like I know you got a pipe with you, or whatever it is. It's just like a wink, and that's cool back then. But it hasn't aged in the best of ways.
It's wild. We can just go down the street to the store now.
Yeah.
Like my friends work there, and I say hi to them and just whatever. I love it. I think it's great. And then another, I thought, pretty cool, fun part of the set was this split.
Indeed. This was kind of the dark horse jam for me of the show.
I agree.
It was a nice little thing they got going on here.
Yeah, I thought it was straightforward and good. I wrote until 9-ish, and then it's 2 minutes of absolute peak Phish, and then a great, almost comical ending. Those were my notes, and that's kind of, I don't know. More band, like they were really listening, really, really well. It was great.
yeah, they really go the distance in this split. Engaging themes. Has like a really cool quiet ending with like super playful and dramatic dynamics. Like you said, just really listening to each other and really playing off one another to create like a really unique.
I love when they end split ending like funny like that, and like toying with the little bit of composition at the end there is very cool. Yeah. It was great.
Then we get to Tila.
Yeah.
I got great bass lines. Composed section, bit sloppy, a touch off at the end, but still quality shredding, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a Tila every show.
Yeah.
Like if I'm there, it's so great. And I really love the croony page. And I don't know, this one was fine. Right. I thought it didn't add or subtract to the set. I think putting something at that part of the show that between Split Open and Melt and Taste was an important choice.
Sure.
And Tila was, that's not a softball. That's a cool song to put there. So good choice. Oh, good execution, but not a re-listen for me.
Right. Definitely not. And then we got Taste. I just have a 3-letter review of it. I'm guessing it's not going to be different than yours. I just wrote oof. That's my review of the Taste.
We discussed it at the last show as well, maybe the last two, because they're playing it a lot and they're really trying to work it out on stage. And I applaud the creativity and I applaud the effort. And I haven't paid that much attention about it, but in that same interview that I will reference numbers of times, Trey's discussing people that have sat in with them. And he goes, yeah, Bela Fleck sat in with us earlier on this tour, and he was saying how cool it was that he'll play anything with them. And he was talking about how this song has a 15 chord cycle to it, and they were writing it all out for him. And you can really hear it in the improvised section, how difficult that is. And that when you get lost, when you fall off that train and you're holding on with one hand, it's hard to get back on.
Yeah.
And we later, a lot of music, when you're learning it, it's practice, memorization. Then you get to that point where you think you're doing all right with it, and then you slip a little, and you got to practice and keep yourself up there. But then for this song, 97, 98, 99, I mean, Phish was crushing, only because they didn't have to think about the composition anymore.
Right.
And they were just able to flow through it because it was just like a discussion at that point that they knew so well.
Right.
And I think this version, and we discussed before, it just hurts because we know what's coming.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of sour notes. There's a lot of, it almost falls apart.
Yeah.
A little bit, which is, I think it's the one thing you could point to in the show. You're like, what is considered a really, really well executed show. It's a little rough.
Yeah, I think this might be like one of all the single song performances we've discussed. This is like one of the most troublesome. But again, like you said, it is incredibly complicated, and they needed to work it out before they could climb those mountains. Because when I start thinking about like many of my favorite jams in the history of Phish, a number of them are tastes. Those 97, 98, 99 taste. I mean, I really think that there are some performances in there that are just as good as Phish gets.
Yeah, and I've been at a number of shows where the taste was one of the highlights. I mean, it doesn't get discussed, but they leaked soundboards of it, the 12, 29, 98 at Madison Square Garden.
Uh-huh.
That was a really fun 4-night run, but I think that's the sleeper show. And the taste from that is just unbelievable. It's so different than anyone anyway, go find that. There's soundboards. It's fun to listen to. Millions of good tastes out there. Yeah, we can skip this one.
And then we get to My Sweet One, and you know what I say? Now we're talking. We're back, baby.
Yeah. It's cooking. It's fun. Another song where every time I hear it, I'm like, God, this song's great.
Yeah.
And then the perfect closer.
Frankenstein.
Perfect closer.
Yeah, perfect end to a first set. Had a great air horn finish. Who doesn't love an air horn finish?
Yeah, I do. My hands up. I love it. And as far as first sets from the shows we've been listening to, this one fits. It falls in line with everything.
Yeah,
it's good. I liked it, and quality of the recording made it very listenable. I I mean, even the audiences of this show were okay. If we had really bad recordings, I don't think this show would quite be on the level that it is. So, good job again, Tapers. The audience recordings are great. And thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, here we are. We get to the set too.
Yeah. Parts are overhyped for me and parts are underhyped for me. So
ooh, okay.
Let's get into it. Let's do the thing.
Starts off with the curtain. A statement of purpose.
Perfect opener.
Yeah.
Again, love it. And really well played.
And it's got a great little sort of like, I don't know, kind of washes into Tweezer in a way. Like I like the segue.
So there's a couple
smashes into Tweezer.
There's a couple tough segues in this show, but there's also some really, really, really good ones. Like this show has a lot of arrows and they're all true arrows. Like really a cool flow, even though a couple times it's a little forced, but very cool.
Right. Yeah, the whole set does just kind of like fit together like a glove.
Yeah. It's a little puzzle and it works. Some better than others, like I said. So the headphones are 1, 2, there's 5 of them in this set. I think 2 are deserved, 3 maybe. And I'll come out and say it. I think the weakest point of this set is the 2 tweezers.
Correct.
The 2 sides of tweezer.
Definitely.
Can I do a little what's up with that? Ooh,
yeah.
How is that weak? How is Keyboard Army, Haley's Comet, NICU, and Timber Hoe trumping tweezer in what is considered like the greatest set of Phish? It's wild.
To be fair, NICU is just half of the jam, if that. Right, because it's basically a jam tacked onto the...
Yeah, sure. Okay. But yeah, this opening tweezer was fine. Good tempo, nice little groove. It flows pretty well, I thought, into the Timber Hoe, which was great. Really, really fun Timber Hoe. I mean, we just did an episode where we discussed all the best ones that we could think of, and we kept finding more, and this one was fine. The roughest segue, I thought, was back to the tweezer out of Timber Hoe. That was tough.
Right. Yeah.
But it does go back.
I mean, as far as the timber goes, if I'm going to rank it like a coffee, I'm going to call it medium, dark, and choppy. A lot of jump chops, but psychedelic blues. And then, but there was a bit of prog in it, which I kind of like. Like, I feel like for like a 4-minute jam, it did a lot.
Yeah, sure.
And then, the tweezer. Yeah, I thought it was a cool segue back into tweezer, but then again, like the tweezer itself was just kind of like nothing particularly special.
I don't get it. This is the section that I don't understand, because this is lauded as like, this is as good as it gets. Phish at their peak. Oh my God. And I didn't feel it in this tweezer.
No,
I didn't. This back half, especially. The first half is just tweezer, like basically like an album version. It's nice. It's good.
Right.
It's short. But then this second one was supposed to be where all the meat was. And I didn't feel it.
No, I tend to think like that. Yeah. That I would say the for me, the meat of the tweezer is on the back half of the ICU.
Sure.
But okay. So then we get into this lovely segue into Keyboard Cavalry.
Oh, which was so great.
It was just lovely.
And such a cool, like, I loved that song. I got to see it a couple times, and the placement, and such, like, I remember the band walks in this cool way too. Like, they all walk like soldiers to the beat into the keyboard nest.
Right.
And then they play, and then they all walk back to their, like, it's very visual as well. And it was performed beautifully, and great placement. This is like, for me, the set takes off at Keyboard Army or Cavalry.
Right.
And this section, that, Haley's, NICU, and then a well-played Slave, and then Bold as Love as an encore. This was why the show would make the list for me.
Correct.
Was this next, like, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, and the Haley's like, if you were going to say, give superlatives to something, you give it to the Haley's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fucking incredible.
And it's the first ever jammed out Haley's ever.
Yeah.
Sort of. The modern Haley's, I guess. I don't know. What did you obviously love it?
Yeah. I mean, I think I wrote it has a propulsive underbelly that just gets you. I said 6 minutes to 9 minutes is just absolute yowzas. Pure Hose until the NICU. And I do think I hear a little bit of Tweezer kind of creeping in at about 6 minutes. Just kind of like creeping back into that jam, but it's not like a full return, but it is just this like 9-minute, just insanely tight exploration that just like every second is satisfying. And there's like these cool sound effects and just, I don't know.
I think if you started it right at the end of Haley's post lyrics and you hit play and you listen through NICU to where Slave starts, you just got like the really best part of the show.
Right.
But this, I liked the NICU jam even a little more than the Haley's jam.
Oh, there you
but
go.
I thought both were great. Both were really, like the very end of the Haley's jam too, with like start stops, and I thought that was really great. And the transition was incredible.
Yeah.
Like really smooth from, if you think about how odd and off-kiltered NICU is, it reminded me, it was as good as the one from Vegas in 98.
Right.
I thought it was like such a smooth, clean into NICU. It was great.
Right. There's a few of those NICUs. I'm blanking out on other ones, but where they kind of get a little back half jam tacked on there. Listen to another one. Anyway, so yeah, Haley's NICU, amazing. And then that kind of segues into Slave. My take on the Slave was I was hoping for something a little bit more airy and nimble.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit more of like an in-your-face, like backward baseball cap bro Slave.
Yeah, I mean, perfect placement, triumphant, kind of big energy, really rocking. It didn't have the introspection. I think... Right. You know, at the last show, we talked about the Slave going off the rails and being big and sloppy, sort of, and a lot of, like, distorted noise. Right. Whereas this one was just like they were just shooting for a B+. They were like, let's just get in there, let's play, let's hit people with the catharsis they're looking for and really nail it and walk off stage.
Right.
And I thought that was a bold, clean... I mean, at the end of this set of music, I'd have felt great too. They covered a lot of ground, a lot of styles. But again, no bluegrass, no Fishman tunes, it didn't get sleepy in the fourth quarter. It destroyed in the fourth quarter.
It did. And I think just
they
to
were
go
not tired.
Back to the tweezer a little bit, I might think that like if you were going to see a lot of shows in 94 and you saw like a lot of the big tweezers, and then you went and saw this tweezer, and they kind of took a lot of the ideas and sections and explorations that they kind of found in those big tweezers, and they put it into this compact version of like this 10-minute tweezer that just, it didn't feel as satisfying as those big ones, but it did have a lot of the components. I was kind of listening to it being like, oh, this is kind of like a greatest hits of like a 30-minute, fall 94 tweezer. They're just kind of all packing it in there. So maybe as a fan, you would kind of like notice that and just be like, wow, this is so different than what I saw, a couple tours ago, and really be kind of struck at how it's evolved. So I can appreciate it on that level. But if I'm just looking at it purely on aesthetics, maybe it's not up to par.
Yeah, and being in the room is always different.
Yeah.
I'm sure being there, this was special. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, what we decided to expand and extrapolate on this week, the song, was Halley's Comets.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Before we push on too far, I'd like to say of the Nancy tunes, this is lyrically just as good as I Didn't Know. Both wonderful.
Yeah.
Both Richard Wright, also is his real name, not just Nancy. And I thought digging into the history of the song was a little bit fun. I don't know. I got into some of the real early ones, and I thought its debut was 5/17/86, but I also believe that there is no recording of that show. And I think he used to come out and sing it with them. Like 86 to 89, he would come out and sing. And so whenever their friend was there, I don't know, being in a band, I would love to have had a song where every time that guy was in the audience or girl was in the audience, they would get up and sing it. Right. And it was a song they wrote and we were performing it. And that was the only time. And then it slept for a long time. And it had that weird 3/14/93 kind of one-off where it was played. And then it really started kicking in later.
At the zoo, right? Well, they played it at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Yep. There was a lot of good ones later. It was 153 times, which is a pretty well-played song. And there's 29 jam chart entries, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And it can be said, Halley's Comet is not, it is a jam vehicle, but it is a like jumping off a cliff jam vehicle.
Sure.
Right? Rather than staying like, a lot of songs will just hit a static harmony on a single chord or a 2-chord progression, and they'll push into an improvisational section. Halley's Comet has chord changes as it goes out, and then it just kind of falls off a cliff. Sometimes to really great results, and sometimes I think some long, plodding, dull results where there'll be one on the jam charts that's there just because it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we've discussed, size, it's not about size, it's about power.
No, yeah, I think you make a good point, because especially once we get to like 98 and beyond, some of these longer Halley's jams are just kind of like a 97 jam or a 98 jam or a 2000 jam. That's just kind of tacked onto the Halley's Comet. But others are a little more organic, and I think we should discuss them. So you said you kind of went for some early ones. I did not go for any early ones. Do you have anything pre-95?
Yeah, I just went for different.
Okay.
I went for a couple different.
Okay.
And I think if I was to make a list of top 5, top 10, this show's would be on it. I thought it was really great.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. And once I dug into lots of other ones, it made me enjoy it more. It made me realize how special it was.
Agreed.
And why. Another reason to, a check 4, if we're doing a pros cons list of this show, making the list, that's a definite check 4, was really digging into Halley's Comet and realizing how special this one was.
Indeed.
So an early one I went for, it was 10/12/86.
Ooh.
So super fun time to listen to the band. And I'm really, it was at the Hay Barn Theater at Goddard College. So you can tell there wasn't a lot of people there. Mike is laying into some falsetto singing that is commented on multiple times by reviews of the show, which I thought was pretty great.
Uh-huh.
It's they're at their like a hay barn at college. So I'm assuming it's fun. It reminded me, just like when I put an early version of another song on one of the lists, it reminded me of early Grateful Dead again, like late 60s Grateful Dead. This was Phish's acid test days.
Correct.
This was the we just have a big party of friends around. Everyone's on something or other. We're going to play this silly song. And it's a 3-minute kind of Trey shred fest, but it's really similar to Grateful Dead. His notes, like, it sounds like Jerry Garcia lines at points. And I really, really loved it as a juxtaposition to all the ones we're going to discuss later.
Nice.
Has a totally different view of the song. I think one of the early ones needed to be represented, and this one was fun.
I'm so glad you did that because I didn't do that. And I do also want to say this 12-14-95 one from the show that we're discussing is, it's an undeniable highlight for the song. So if you're going to look for jammed out versions, definitely go there. I am going to go with 8-3-98 Deer Creek. Big one, obvious. It's a funk masterpiece. But I think, there's, like you said, there are some Haley's jams that, like, there's the song and then it jumps off into a jam and they're separate things. I feel like even though this jam is extended and it's multi-part, the bounce of this particular funk jam fits the song. And it feels like very natural together. And I feel like from the composed section into the jam is very natural, has a great funk section, has a really cool, like, kind of ambient psychedelic section toward the end. Say enough about it. Love it.
Yeah, what blew my mind about this one is, and I've seen shows at Deer Creek. It's fun, and Ryan was at this one. Mm-hmm. Have him on just for this. I wish we could just like hit ding ding and have him hop in for a comment. But maybe I'll record him in person since we're going to see each other soon. Yeah. Just on my phone, real quick, tag it in. But this show opened with Smashing Pumpkins' "Rhinoceros" because it was the summer of covers, which is such a cool song. And I was such a fan of that song. And I was so jealous when I heard that they played it to open the show. Then into this 20-minute Haley's Comet.
Right.
And by the end of it, they are in deep, deep places. And they're 15 minutes, 20 minutes into a show. And that impressed me. That, like, it spoke to 98 Phish's willingness to just go.
Right.
And I also really, really enjoyed it. It was on my short list at the end. but I kind of hoped you would put it on. And it was the one, though, where I said, like, is this actually Haley's?
Sure.
Rather than a springboard to the band. It's almost like an extended sound check. It's a Rhinoceros we practiced really hard, and here's this song, and we just learned this backstage, and here's this big thing. Then we're going to hit Haley's Comet, which is fun and funky, and we're having a good time, and the groove is so great. Then we're going to delve into some deep space and really like get ourselves set for the rest of the show.
Right.
And I thought the location in the set made this one even more special. It was really cool.
Yeah, between like the Ventura bathtub gin, the Riverport bathtub gin. Phish had some pretty insane first quarters in summer 98.
Yeah, you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I think they were just so fresh. I mean, being in bands too, sometimes the best you'll play, like when you're getting together to like practice songs. I was in a band where we would always just plug in and like improvise to warm up every night. And some of the best playing we ever did in our whole time together was then.
Right.
Like our improvising to warm up. So I get it. I think it's cool. It's so fresh, and your fingers just feel so good on your instruments, and it's electric. It's
right. Cool. Well, let's kind of discuss
great
the
choice.
1122 as a juxtaposition to that. Did you choose 1122, or were you hoping I choose that one too? Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit. It is highly lauded. This is one of the highest ranked shows in Phish's history, and this is the centerpiece jam from that show. Sam, go.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I really don't. I don't love that show, and I don't love that version of Haley's Comet. It's not even on my final anything here. I think it's like, it's thin.
Right.
I don't know.
I listened to it. Okay, so I listened to it first on my headphones, and I kind of felt the way you did about it. And then I kind of had it's not nearly as good as A398. So that was going to be my big choice, because I was kind of going between those two. And then I listened to it on my car stereo, and I had a very different experience, and I appreciated it a lot more. And it seemed much more together and much less, had less atonal. I don't know if atonal is the right word, but it wasn't like, it's not a hyper melodic funky version. It's kind of like this atonal funky version, which is representative of Fall 97, but there's something a little off about it. But it's still great. I think it's still definitely worth a listen. If you're doing a deep dive on Haley Comet, don't miss the 11/22/97. It's worth a listen. But we're on the same page. It's overhyped.
There's too much leaning on bass and drums, I think, which I love bass and drums, don't get me wrong. But there's these points where you're like, all right, Mike has been crushing these like really complex funk bass lines with Fishman, and there's just kind of, where are we at, guys? Like, give me melody, give me repetitive themes, give me, I don't know. We discussed this when The Gorge was re-released, that the mics at the end of that Mike's groove, there's just, you're like, all right, we need a new idea here.
Right.
And I felt like this 11/22 was kind of, the whole show for me suffers a little from that 97 syndrome of, it's good, but like, I don't know.
We'll get there.
Length isn't always good. We'll get there.
And Trey's so funny with the wah. Sometimes he uses his wah in a way that I think, oh, that's so creative. I love the way you're using it. And other times I'm kind of sensitive to it and be like, that's too aggressive. That's not how you use a wah, Trey. And I feel like there was a little bit of that in that 11/22 Haley's, where I was like, I don't like what you're doing with that wah. But that's,
when I don't play a lot of guitar. But if I was on a stage with loud guitar, I'd play a wah pedal all the time. It's fun as hell. I just get stuck in, because it's just, suddenly you're like, oh, I can almost not hit a wrong note. It's great.
That's true.
But I don't know what I'm doing. So
all right, what's next, Sam?
So I went to one that I saw. I think it's probably my favorite Haley's Comet that I ever saw. And it's a little bit outside of the realm. And yes, it is a springboard to a jam vehicle. But it's 7/13/99 at Great Woods.
Yeah, cool.
So it's got a real, like, it jumps into the jam and gets very dark, which I loved. It's got the minor to major classic move. But for me, what it represents is this is the signpost of what's about to be the new Phish. This Haley's Comet is Phish improvising for the next, till the hiatus.
Right.
It's this minor to major. It's really cohesive and beautiful, but swirling, and the band's playing really. It's much more. People in '98 when everyone saw Loaded, we saw Loaded, but everyone said after that, like, this is defining the new jamming style of Phish, where it's those big, like, swirling chords and thick, and it's less soloing, or even like nimble band discussions and more big washes of color and sound. And I thought that this Halley's Comet was a real signpost for the future couple years of Phish.
Right.
And I remember watching it thinking, that classic minor to major shift where it's dark and it's brooding, and like, ooh, I'm a little scared, and like feel this weight on my chest. And then when the minor notes start slowly slipping in, and then or the major notes, and it fully opens up, it's classic, juxtaposition improvising, but it's really well done in this version. So
yeah, I love that version.
I loved it.
And great show.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun at those 2 nights were really, really great. And Great Woods is like my spiritual home, and they just announced summer shows in July. So
great.
Maybe I'll sneak down to one, because it really is truly my spiritual home, even though getting in and out of there is the worst. But it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, you'll have jetpack soon. It'll be fine. I was thinking you were going to mention Red Rocks, 8595, and it's also a very cool version into Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Has a little something, like a little 3-minute tack on jam. It's really cool. I enjoyed that very much. I don't know if it's like a best of, but if you're listening to Halley's, it's worth your time.
Yeah, that whole show is really fun. There's some real moments, like I said in a previous episode as well. If they just put together like a collection of the best of Red Rocks,
right,
I would listen to it.
Yeah,
I mean, if they released all those on Soundboard, I would go listen to all of them again, because I had a really good time. But none of them were. One night was a maybe, but none of them were memorable.
Yeah,
like going on a list of best of nights. But
same
there were some
with the
moments
Red Rock
on the
shows I saw in 09, 2000.
Yeah, I don't know what happens at that place.
There were some good jams though. All right, well, I guess I have 2 more.
Sure.
Going
Hit
slow
me.
here. Well, since Halley's is a groove-based song, and Mike didn't fully come into his own until 2.0, at least not fully, I'd say. I'm going to go with 22403. Great jam.
That's my third.
Yeah. Okay.
I just Mike and Fishman were just, it was like, yeah, I know I bitched about the 1122 leaning on bass and drums, but this was... mean, this show, it had like BB King at the bunch of the first set, and like, you get it. This kicks off right at the beginning of the second set, and I just, wow.
Yeah.
This one stunned me.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about this one.
Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, I do think like when I was kind of looking at a top three, like 12-4, like if you did the 12-14, the 8-3-98, and the 2-24-03, like those three, just
that's
how different they are. Like all of them are
I love that.
totally different, and they're all amazing. Yeah. So I think that's a cool thing.
Well, that's why throw that 86 one in there, and then we're all set.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all set.
I do have
you're going to hit me with the final, though.
I do have a couple from I got a 3.0 and a 4.0 over here.
Okay, I'm ready.
52811 has a great little jam that follows. It's the Bethel Woods, and I think that's one, I've mentioned it before on this podcast. I think that's one of those nights where things were just connecting in Phish World. It has like the great backwards down the number line. It has a lot of great stuff in that show, and the Haley's is no different. And I thoroughly enjoyed giving it another listen. Another one was 8-11-21, and that'll be my third pick. And yeah, I was not a big fan of 21 in general. The shows I saw were okay. I mean, they were okay, but left a little to be desired. But I thought this Haley's was fantastic, and again, a great juxtaposition with all the other ones.
Did you find the 3 and 4? Because I kind of stayed away from those ones.
Yeah.
I felt like I had enough for this list ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I kind of secretly hope that you'll do those.
Right.
But did you find that the jamming style was representative of Phish at that time? Or did it feel like the Haleys from previous?
Yeah, no, like the 52811 is just like a straight up 2011 type jam. Like Trey's tone, his pedals, it really is very 2011, 2012. And then the 21 one. So there was the 7/19/22, which is like a yellow fishnet one, and it's like says it's really great, even though it starts off after a mangled compose section. And I really didn't like it. There were some parts in there where I was like, I am never listening to this again. So that was not a winner. The 225/22 Mexico was okay, but not standout. But yeah, a lot of sound effects in the 21. But I think I'm not as sensitive to the sound effects as some other people. I know sure. Some people are kind of sensitive to them. I can like them if they're used properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed away from 3.0s. I felt good about the choices I made, and I thought the 2.0, I listened to a couple of 2.0s, and 224 was the king, but they were all really cool.
Yeah.
I'm learning this is going to be my next, digging is 2.0 Phish.
Yeah.
It's something that I've been looking at for a long time, and I've thought about, and I've dipped my toes in the water before. But I'm feeling, going through the list that we're doing here and having listened to so much Phish, although they are giving us a lot of great new releases right now, which I'm happy about. But I am definitely going to start, I think, maybe even right at the top of 2.0 and just going through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It could be really fun.
There's some great stuff.
Yeah. I'm really, the Mike and Fishman, so I can listen to bass and drums all day.
So we finished up the Haleys. There you go, people. Go get your Haleys on. Great song.
Yeah.
Thanks,
yeah. And
Nancy.
hit us up if you have ones that should be on this list that aren't. I'm wondering if there's any other early ones that, I didn't give a listen to. I listened to a handful of them. They were all really fun. I just liked this one a lot.
Yeah. And then just to finish up the
86
show.
in me.
What do we have left?
86 Phish. Well, we discussed The Slave. I guess just an encore.
Yeah. And they have the funny little chat between Mike and Trey where they have to say, we get a lot of signs, but we have to want to play the sign. Turns out
I thought it was funny.
We want to play this sign. Yeah, it was very funny.
And I thought The Bold as Love was, I love this. Great encore choice.
Yeah.
Give me rock and roll. It's like how they closed. I don't know that you loved the last show's encore being Loving Cup as much as me, but give me this. Give me this.
Yeah.
Like this is, I think the band was like, we're going to send everyone home with rock and roll.
Right.
And I really appreciated that. I thought it was great.
I distinctly remember like the first kind of times as an adult that I processed A Day in the Life and Bold as Love and their sort of extenda coda ending where the song kind of ends and then, or I guess Day in the Life has the build and then starts over and then the other build, and then Bold as Love kind of ends and then starts up again with the final build. And I think that there is something, I remember listening to those songs like in my car on CD thinking like, oh man, to see this live. And I think that like Phish probably thought the same thing, and that's why they chose to play those songs as covers. Because when I first saw that they performed those covers, I was like, oh, could you have chosen a better Jimi Hendrix song? No, like this is the one. And I know some people prefer Isabella, but I think for me, Bold as Love.
No, this is the one.
Yeah, I think Bold as Love.
What was the other Hendrix cover?
Fire.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That also, like, there's some 92 versions of that.
Yeah.
That are just ripping.
Yeah.
I know there's some, once we get to the end of this and we're starting to add some shows in, I feel like 90, 91 needs to get represented.
Yeah.
I think that the Giant Country Horns, Amy's Farm show, like stuff like that. I think we're gonna have to get one of those squeezed in here.
I agree.
And I'm sure there's a fire at that show. They used to do a lot of those at that time. So yeah. I think we'll get more Hendrix. And there's also filler on this show. There was the free sound check. I don't know if you listened to it.
I did not.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I don't understand give me filler. I think it's cool. There are a lot of sound checks. Are you a sound check guy?
Sometimes. Depends on the era.
Beyond the one sound check from that
Italy
show on the lake in your
the lake. Yeah. That Mbop show.
Yep. Yeah.
No, well, I mean, of course,
That's
there's the Bethel Waves from 2011.
Oh, yeah.
Soundtrack.
Sure.
I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, and then that.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Yeah, the Big Cypress has like a cool soundtrack. What else do we have going? I think we finished the show. So
Yeah, I think
I
we did
always
really
used
good.
to think that like maybe Sugar Bush would have been a better live Phish number one. How are we feeling? Is there any other show that you think would be a more appropriate live Phish volume one?
God, that's a tough one. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm really not. I
Yeah.
think they should have jumped in with both feet and done something like the Bomb Factory
Oh, wow. Okay.
and represented their position on the field of, yeah, this is the high water mark for Phish.
Right.
I get frustrated. I get it in every single way. I get it why the band wants to say that we cohesively as a unit choose this show for reasons that we think will be commercially viable, representative of what we all enjoyed about this night. Decisions by committee suck sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but they suck sometimes. Sometimes you just need one person to step in and this is what we're doing, guys. I'm like, all right, sure, whatever.
And frankly, I like Mike. I like how like confident Mike is about his choices. So I'm gonna go ahead and if we have to elect somebody, Mike, you go ahead and choose the shows. I trust you.
Yes, and band members are not the best.
Yeah.
Wild to say. Band members are not the best to discern what the peak moments are all the time for
Right.
the audience.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the audience. So I think it's a fine choice.
Yeah. I
Is
just
it gonna
figure if
remain on
Mike
the list
chooses,
of
we're going to
100?
get a little
Yeah.
bit less Trey shredding.
Maybe. I do love Trey shredding though.
So
I think
do
this
I.
makes
So
the
do
list.
I.
I think this makes the list, but I'm not 100%, but it's close.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pull this off the list. I think there would be a couple other shows that I'd pull off beforehand.
The jam out of NICU is enough for me. I'm going to go back and listen to that a bunch.
Hey,
in
what
the
was
next
it?
couple
You said
months.
something at the beginning of this show that I needed to listen to, and I was like, I haven't listened to that. Do you remember what it was?
Nope.
Because I better go back and listen to this episode.
Yeah, so a few months from now, when this makes it out into the world, we'll be there. In a few months from now, when this makes it out in the world, we'll have seen a Phish show. So together
Yes.
for the first time since. Were you at Irvine Meadows in 2000?
Yeah.
Or was it
2000?
San Diego?
Yeah. No,
That was our last
99.
show?
Yes, not 2000. The last show we would have seen together would have been Vegas 2000, probably.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
two.
The 929,
Okay.
930.
Oh, so we're bringing it full circle.
Wow.
Okay.
Man,
Okay.
24 years in 2024. Listeners, 24 has been my lucky number since I've been a little boy. So this is a big year for me. I turned 50 this year.
Yeah.
We're going to Vegas to the Sphere with my other buddy, whose his favorite number is 24. Everything's 24 this year. So
We're gonna need to take it easy.
don't mind me.
We're gonna need to take it easy. We gotta be careful. With all of this coming together, we gotta be careful.
It's definitely a
All right.
convergence.
Next show we're doing 37, which is probably gonna be, I don't know, post. Maybe we'll squeeze this in before we're in Vegas. It's gonna be 12/29/95 at the Worcester Centrum.
Oh,
A
the
show
real gym.
that beyond the real gin, I'm not that versed with. It's been a long time.
It doesn't
the
sound
real gin,
good.
I remember-
It's a shitty sounding show.
I remember the real gin blowing my fucking mind though.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty
we
great.
will-
It has the bass
we'll dig into
solo
it.
with Jim Stinnett. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna dig in. We're gonna.
I'm
see what
excited.
happens.
What do you think we're? I guess we'll discuss what we're going to discuss. We don't want to give anything away.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Got another Makasupa coming up.
And then we're on to the big 12/31/95, which we'll see how it shakes out. Maybe a two-parter. I'm not sure. We're gonna get at least two special guests involved in this.
Yeah.
Remotely in some way.
We'll see if we can find a
And-
hater.
Yeah. We're gonna make it happen. I know my wife's gonna have some things she wants to say.
Oh,
And she's good at this, and she was there with me.
yeah.
Not as my wife or as my girlfriend. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And before we go, I don't we both listen to tons of music and we throw a lot of music at each other. But the first album of the year this year that's gotten me, and I know I pushed it towards you a lot, a musician named Mike Gordon, of course, which makes sense. But he plays music under it's mk.gee, or he says it's pronounced McGee. And his album 2-Star and the Dream Police came out recently, and I just love it. I'm really, really into it. It's quick, it's short, and I'm a huge fan. I guess we haven't talked about it, but it's really exciting that MJ Lenderman and Waxahachie put a single out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've listened. It is a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's a cool song.
They could be like the modern Graham Parsons and Emmylou Harris.
Right.
But like for the modern age.
Yeah.
And I hear they're going to tour together. So maybe, I don't know. I'm really excited about some of the new music that's happening in the world right now. And did you listen to the new Granddaddy record at all too?
I did. It's very mellow, but really pretty. And
it's
soothing.
sad.
Yeah.
It's mellow and sad.
Yeah.
And Jason Little is so talented, and I love, the mood it creates is a little dour, but I still am really happy for new Granddaddy. I thought
absolutely.
Good. Lots of pedal steel, lots of washes and soundscapes and sadness, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. So get your new music, everybody.
Yeah. I've got some new music to recommend as well.
Oh, good. I need more.
I wanted to recommend this band, Parannoul. It's Parannoul. I believe they're Japanese. And the album I listened to is After the Magic, 2023. Really cool stuff. Just like some of these albums that they're using like combinations of like choral singing and chamber strings and then like ambient industrial noise and kind of like layering it on top of each other, but with like indie guitars, and every song has a lot of changes and has like a back half of the song that has like a crazy change or ending that you didn't expect. That like I feel like at the end of every song I was like, whoa, that was cool. And then a new song would start up and be like, what is this? And then by the time it would end, it'd be like, that was cool. And it was it was just a unique music listening experience. I'm listening to the top 50 albums of 2023 from Pitchfork. So I'm going to be listening to some stuff that's a little bit out of my comfort zone. And that has been the standout so far. And I'm just going to recommend that.
Is there something happening in Japan for the last 70 years that we're just not paying attention to?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And their culture is so amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, being someone who food is an obsession for me, Japanese culture around food is like, I would dream to live in a culture that cared that much. I mean, that's why I make Italian food, because I'm like,
right,
I need to live in a culture that cares this much about what they do and these little details of ingredients. And that's my obsession. And I feel like there's a Japanese music scene. I mean, you sometimes hear these jam bands or like Acid Mother's Temple. And,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You guys you're living in an ecosystem that is totally different from what we live in.
Right.
From a Western ecosystem.
And even like Australia, I guess, has like kind of like crazy scene out there. But Japanese culture is such a sponge culture that I feel like they're soaking up so many different styles and genres of music and scales that they're mashing together. And so it's got a real unique feel to it.
Yeah, I love it. That's really cool. I'll have to listen.
Cool. Well, it was a pleasure, everybody. Sam and I have really been looking forward to this talk, and we've had it in our head many times. This was the version that we put onto tape. I hope it's worthy.
Yeah, it took us a little bit on this one, but it's been worth it.
Yeah,
I love this. I mean, it was worth it for Trey Tonal. That's maybe my favorite new thing. I can't say that I'm not going to walk out of the Sphere and look at everyone and go, I mean, it was good, but it was a little too Trey Tonal for me. I want shirts now. I feel really good.
Shirts? All right.
You did it. Maybe. You did it. You did the thing. All right.
All right, bro. We'll see you next time for 12/29/95.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day, night, week, month, year. Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.